Nice.
Either gunshots or fireworks.
Or both.
You never know in this town.
You want me to get you one?
Oh, hey, Phoenix Feathers Life. Who'd watch that douche?
Your mom.
Not me.
Yeah. Nah, my mom wouldn't either.
Prove it. Tony, what's up the low
Well,
family?
she's watching The Voice right now, so.
Or low family, sorry. She was watching The Voice. Now she's watching this voice.
Yeah, nah.
Oh, would you get a new house?
Talking about me?
Yeah.
We had that for like 3 weeks now, bud.
All right. Well, damn, man.
That sounds pretty sus to me.
You know what else sounds sus? Your mom watching The Voice.
Yeah, I don't know why she likes that show.
I spent some COVID time watching The Voice and getting really into it and voting.
It used to be good.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
wait.
It's now that the judges are like revolving doors.
Yeah.
Like,
Where's mine? There it is.
It was basically turned into like American Idol for a while.
right.
I've been binge watching fucking Yellowstone like last 2 weeks.
Cool.
I keep meaning to watch that show, and I just don't.
It's like the greatest show of
You
all
haven't
time.
watched it yet?
Mm-mm.
Oh boy.
I know, considering that that's like my favorite era, you'd think that I would.
Yeah, it's
But
it's
I've never-
it's a pretty great show.
I've heard. But also, like, there's a piece of me that's just like, I don't know, that's what they say about Game of Thrones and stuff. And it's like, no thanks.
Hey, you shut your face. Game of Thrones is a great show. Until the
I've
last
never watched
season.
it.
It's not my genre.
Yeah, I'm not big into the Game of Thrones style of movies.
No, nothing like. And then, like, here's where I catch shit for it is because I'm like, I'm not really into like that fantasy kind of stuff. And then it's just like, well, you like Harry Potter, and it's like, well, okay, fair.
Well, see, that's my thing. So, like, I'm not into that
That's
stuff.
like the same thing. Castles
It's
and
not.
Dragons, you know.
But see, like, I'm not into that stuff. But like, you know, I love the fucking Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, but that is an era that actually
That's not
existed.
really
Though.
like.
That's not like fantasy. There's no, I mean, yeah, that maybe there's like a couple mythical creatures in there, like the Kraken or whatever, but
Well, then, or like the pirates that turn into a skeleton, or the ones that turn into crustaceans.
yeah, but the premise.
Hold up. Are you telling me that didn't really happen?
Well, dear God, I hope not. If so, they really need to update our history books.
So what makes you think that there couldn't have been like dragons back in the day? You know,
I know, dude. The
Definitely
fact there's no
How do you
skeletal.
know?
No
This
skeletal
definitely wasn't.
proof.
Like, if it's not in the Bible, it didn't happen.
Yeah,
This
like that was
fucking guy.
that was the Facebook back in the day. That was the Facebook back in the day.
Oh yeah, dragons just going
Hey,
around
wait.
eating everybody. They're like, yeah, maybe we should leave that one out. What's up, Cody? How are you?
Yeah.
And also, picture
Yeah.
didn't happen.
You know, I mean, cameras weren't invented in the 1800s, so like,
Well, that's their problem, not ours.
therefore, nothing before the camera existed is true. I like it.
Well, I mean, they could have painted a picture. You know, that like a very low.
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, but they could paint a picture of whatever they wanted. Like, there's no way to fact check it. You know.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
So,
I mean,
you know, why don't
who's
you?
to- who's
like,
to
do you
say they didn't
trust
have cameras?
historians, like quote unquote historians, like.
but who's to say they didn't have cameras? I mean, don't you remember watching the Flintstones? That was back in dinosaur times, and they had cameras.
Well,
Yeah.
no, they didn't. That's just what we think.
No,
Based on-
Flintstones is true. Flintstones had cameras. You don't remember the little
Based on-
birdie in it?
Flintstones is based on the true story.
Yeah. Yeah, Michael Bay wrote it. That's why there's so many explosions. Could you imagine them, like... I mean, I know they did, like, the live action version with, like, John Goodman and,
Yeah, that was
you
not
know,
good.
Rosie. But could you imagine them doing another one? Michael Bay directs it, and there's just fucking explosions everywhere. Like random
Dino
pterodactyl
transforms into a robot.
Pterodactyl just randomly falls into a fucking like mountain and just explodes.
A pterodactyl just fires like a missile from under its wing,
Yeah.
blows up the rock quarry.
If it wasn't in the Bible, it didn't happen. So you
kidding,
mean to
I'm
tell me?
kidding.
You mean to tell me that dragons couldn't have existed, but a Leviathan can?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here!
Well, listen, according to the Bible, cavemen didn't exist, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you want me to put all this this coal? You want it where this blue truck's
Probably-
parked?
Yep,
in front
that's
of
it.
All right, I'm gonna move that guy if I can. Thank you.
I'm getting on. Jesus Christ!
You're gonna unload it into the thing next to it. Little great. Yeah. All right, let's do it. Right?
Either one's fine. There's a spot in front of those two silos that you can unload into. Yeah, the heat fires don't go away. I'm gonna be one. I'm a happy mofo. Yeah, tell me about it. Can someone explain to me how British people aren't a giant bunch of pansies when
They
they
are
are
a bunch of pansies.
crying about a heat wave when converted into Fahrenheit is only 78 degrees Fahrenheit?
Because they are pansy.
Yeah. We had to help them with both world wars, so.
Yeah. And they can't eat spicy food. Their food is bland and nasty.
It blew my mind when I saw that. They're like, unexpected heat
Whoever
wave.
said Brits weren't pansies.
I don't know, somebody somewhere sometime. I've just,
A true Brit.
I mean, here's the thing. Like everybody's like,
outside
oh,
of British people.
Yeah, they were like, oh, British had the the toughest military ever. Well, yeah, that's because America wasn't created yet. I mean, that's the worst part. Like,
No, and we
They
barely
left.
had an army. We barely had
Yeah.
our shit together. We had like people that are just like, "Hey, man, you got a gun?" It's like, "Well, I do, but why?" It's like, "Well, we're gonna go fight like an actual, legit, established army." I know you were like just farming,
so
but
you
like,
tell
I'm
me
just, I think this might be something we need to do.
and they're like, wait, we're like, how many people do we have? We have like
Have
12.
rednecks
How many
to
do they
think?
have?
We got like 15, and then we got like a bunch of slaves.
Yeah, and they're like, well, how many people do the British have? Oh, like 3.5 million. Oh, well, that's easy.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. I like that. That's cool. Let's do it.
I mean, they got beat by a dude with wooden teeth.
Yeah. So I found out it actually wasn't wooden teeth.
I know, it was like
It was like teeth of other animals.
it was ivory, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure it was teeth from other animals.
Like actual teeth?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fact check myself.
Dog, I want
mean-
bear teeth.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I could believe that, like 100% though. Back in them days, I could believe that.
What? Okay, so the first thing that when I say George Washington teeth, it's the first thing that comes up. It says George Washington teeth slaves.
Oh.
Explain that one to me.
Yeah, slaves
I'm
that
sorry,
literally just did nothing but cleaned his teeth.
Yeah, this is a guy brushing his teeth.
Trevion, will you brush my teeth? Yes.
Was that the Boston Celtics? Oh, you had to go to Boston during the Boston Celtics parade?
Me?
Yeah.
are
Someone
you
said
talking-
they were at the Boston Celtics championship parade today.
I wasn't.
I thought you said you had to go to the doctor.
Yeah, like different part of town.
Oh,
Didn't have to.
sorry, I'm from Delaware. That everything's connected here.
Well, it is like added traffic for sure. But like where the parade route was and stuff like that, it was nowhere near that.
I'm surprised they let the parade happen.
Are you saying that because you don't want people, you don't want your work people to know you were actually at the parade today?
Oh, hell no, I wouldn't go. I was just telling my wife because it's just like all over the news and stuff around here, and it's like, God, like I don't care because like the NBA sucks and like I hate the Celtics. So I used to love them, but I hate Jason Tatum with a passion.
I'm surprised they even did a parade after what happened in Kansas City.
Well, that's my thing. It's just like I wouldn't be caught dead at a parade anymore. Like, are you kidding? Like, bad metaphor.
And the worst part was
that was pretty bad.
But see, the worst part,
I have no desire to go to like any kind of mass event, like where there's big crowds. Like, I have no desire to.
Yeah, and see, the crazy thing though is like ours wasn't
what I was feeling since day I was born.
But see, like the thing is, like,
people? No, I'm out.
The shooting in Kansas City wasn't like it was a planned deal. It was just two kids that bumped into each other. And
well, yeah, that was
started shooting at each other. But
existing beef that.
No, it wasn't existing. They never met each other.
Oh, you got a gun? Yep. You got one too? Yep. Let's start shooting.
Yeah, no, they literally bumped into each other in the crowd and started arguing, and they pulled a gun out on each other and just started shooting. That's literally how the whole thing went down.
I think the bumpy ripped apart to piss off the bumper that long.
Now that would be true if you were at the parade.
Oh,
dude, I had to go to the bathroom, and I was sitting there watching my TikToks, and my phone volume was like a notch below full volume.
I was just like notch below stadium speakers.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, it sounded like I don't even know how to put it. My farts were echoing louder than what my phone was. I texted my wife. I was like, "Do you hear that downstairs? Because God, it's so loud." But the AC is like right in front of where she's sitting, so it was drowning me out.
She's like,
she's used to your farts.
It's on the seismograph report here.
I was like, "Do you hear my thunder ass down there?"
Could you imagine, like, we're just sitting there, everybody's sitting there, and all of a sudden, like, breaking news out of Delaware, New Jersey. They had a massive 7.3.
Delaware, New Jersey.
There was a. It's like.
And it's like, okay, I'm intrigued. Go on.
Yeah, like, now tell me the whole story.
Yep.
It's like, I didn't even know there was tectonic plate up there. Me neither.
Dude, we get earthquakes.
I've experienced one here in Delaware.
Just one?
Just one. It was the freakiest thing I've ever experienced. There's supposedly another one.
We get them all the time.
A couple of years ago, but yeah, no. I've only ever experienced one. That's when I was working at Walmart.
2 or 3 or 4 max, and then
we supposedly get a shit ton of the aftershock waves, even though I never since I've been alive. There's only 2 that I've actually felt. But supposedly we get them every fucking day because of Kansas and Oklahoma. But you don't feel it. Like, you literally don't feel them at all.
So here's the
what's the problem?
Yeah, there's only been one I should say I felt, but here's the problem. They've confirmed that both times that we've had like an actual significant earthquake where it was felt, they were doing some testing at the Dover Air Force Base just off the shore.
Oh, they're just bombing shit.
Yeah, that's what some people are assuming happened.
They're waiting for the big earthquake down at South Missouri to happen.
Yeah, I would too if I lived in Missouri.
It's supposed to be as devastating as
like, I hope
fucking
it
open up and swallow it all.
Yeah. Like, I hope it's like the center of it's right in the middle of my house. It just swallows.
I mean, don't
The
get me
entire
wrong.
household.
This thing can use a cleaning. You know, this was crazy. Like I've been watching like the Game Awards of Yellowstone, and they're like always talking about like the Missouri River. And you see what the Missouri River looks like up there.
And you're like, oh, it's nice.
It's the same fucking river. Yeah, like up there, it's crystal clear. It's not like real deep, but it's crystal clear, huge. You get down here, it's just big and fucking dirty and shitty and pissy and everything else. Like, that ain't the same river.
You see what you guys do there, Missouri? You take a beautiful body of water and just fucking ruined it.
Well, I mean, technically, it happens further up north than what, where we're at. But
Now,
it also depends on like the soil and all that stuff because there's a lot of silt, which will change the color of the water.
That ain't silt, that shit.
Okay. No, it's shit. Like the city of Omaha literally dumps their feet into the river. So does St. Joe once in a blue moon.
See?
But at least our city admits it. We're like, hey,
and that's more like when the guy in charge of it drinks a blue moon.
No, well, what it is like the valves that keeps it
What's
from
up,
going in there. They have to be opened
HK4,
up.
how are you doing?
Maintenance, so it allows stuff to fall in. But by federal law, they have to make the announcement that hey, we're releasing. They have to guesstimate how much they're releasing into the river during that time.
We're releasing shit'ems into the river.
Basically any city that has a water treatment plant right next to the river is dumping into the river. Guarantee it. I mean, shit, the river sits maybe 100 foot behind our building at work.
So what you're saying is you're always taking a dump in the river.
Oh. Yep. I mean, I'd take dumps at work. That way I get paid.
He built a bridge over the river just so he can go out into the middle of the bridge and sit on a 5-gallon bucket with a hole in the bottom and just dump over the river.
I don't want to do that. I ain't got to do that. I just literally out the door, walk to the river. Like, literally right behind us. Okay, sorry, there's a train track technically behind us. Didn't get to the river. Fucking trains. Oh, how much I hate them.
What?
Trains.
What do you got against trains?
They're fucking annoying and they're inconvenience all the damn time.
Sounds like a you problem.
No.
Kinda.
Oh yeah, because I run all the.
I mean,
Well, yes, those kind of trains, but
wait, what?
you don't get it. Run the train. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom.
I got you there, bud.
Yeah, I got,
And full, good buddy.
I got you, but I you mean on you or?
No, I said I run the train.
Oh, okay.
He's the conductor, motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's collecting
Choo-choo,
tickets
bitches.
outside the front door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All aboard!
Yeah, he's the bouncer.
Where's your
bouncer.
ticket? Yeah. I'll kick your ass off my train and chuck the cheese, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
No ball pit for
You
you,
got a ticket?
fucker.
You don't got a ticket? Get the hell out of this train line.
Get out of my ball pit, bitch.
He's like, didn't I kick you out of the ball pit last week? Yeah, you definitely don't have a ticket. Get the fuck out of here.
But sire, I got this ticket from the ski ball. That looks like a fake ticket to me.
Did you just like indirectly in the third person call yourself sire?
Yeah. Want to make it sound fancy.
But sire. All I have are 3 stones in this tape from the skee ball machine. Enough with you, peasant.
But sire, my fish and chips are cold. Eat some porridge, peasant.
Eat another slice of pepperoni pizza.
No,
This train is not for you.
Pulls out, instead of getting pizza from Chuck E. Cheese, they just pull out SpaghettiOs. Here's your soup, peasant. Sir, that's just SpaghettiOs, sire.
I'm
Yeah,
generous,
but
Lord.
But it's not Chef Boyardee brand. It's generic.
Hey, you see Chef Boyardee's doing frozen meals now?
Yeah.
With like raviolis and stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
Actually, fun fact, did you know that's
It took
actually how
them
they got
long
their start?
I
don't know.
If
well,
you watch
technically it
the
wasn't
Food That Built
frozen.
America,
Yeah,
you would know that.
I guess it technically wasn't frozen, but it could be refrigerated. Yeah. Why aren't you watching Food That Built America?
What's
Look,
that?
I
on?
watch all of those.
History.
You know.
History Channel? I
Yeah,
don't have
JT,
cable.
earlier, the show that you were referring to was Unexplained with William Shatner, not.
Yep.
Well, you said it was Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, you're right. I mean, there is a show called Unsolved Mysteries.
There is.
But yeah, you're right. The one with
I
William
wasn't
Shatner's
sure which way
Unexplained.
you were going. Yeah.
No, I
Unexplained.
had a shit mixed
I got
up.
through like 10 minutes of that episode or one of the episodes, and it's just like
Yeah.
I can't listen to him talk.
No. Like
And
it's
they're like
almost like
it's like the Weather Channel stuff. Like there's a few shows on the Weather Channel where it's just like it's like mysteries of weather or something like that, and they're just like, well, we don't really know what caused this, and it's like, well, then why the heck? Like, I'm here for answers. And
like,
the
why
end
do you leave
result-
me with more questions than answers?
Why would you go
The
to
end
the
result-
Weather Channel for answers? Anything they say is going to be 50-50.
Well,
It's
see,
just like
like,
weather. It's like weather explained or like something like that, like weird weather instances and stuff. And they're just like at the end of it, they're just like, well, we don't know. And it's like, well, okay.
but see, like,
So the same thing goes with William Shatner's thing.
Yeah.
But then it's like I get all mad because I'm just like, well, you didn't really say anything. So like, what the,
Yeah,
like,
like I
the
watched
hell?
one episode. They're like, this guy can't feel pain. They don't know why. Well,
Yeah.
Well, I want to
And
know
they-
I mean, it's
why.
in the
they
title.
died.
It's unexplained. Like, it didn't
Yeah.
say unexplained, explained. It's just unexplained.
Well, I know, but goddamn
I
it,
get
don't
that. Well,
do
that's why I
stories like
revert back
that
to
without
it.
answers. And let's face it, William Shatner, he just reads the shit off like he's reading his bunch of books to kindergartners. He's like,
I know, but for me, it's super frustrating because I'm just like very much like
you want to know the
Right.
answers.
type A person where it's just like, okay, so you have all of these research experts doing a bunch of work on this. So like obviously there's like some facts to this. So I would expect a result, and then they're just like, and it remains unexplained to this day. And I'm like, oh, you son of a bitch.
I know, like they did one episode, they were like,
It's like edging my brain.
like they did one episode, they're like Susan Breedmore from
Like,
Seattle, Washington.
and ah.
Oh, it is. Like, they pissed me off because they did one story. They're like, Susan Bridges from Seattle, Washington disappeared on May 7th, 1979. She walked out her house. And we're like, oh, uh-huh. She went to her
She
car.
was never
Uh-huh.
seen again.
And then she disappeared. Nobody knows. Oh,
So let's
Okay.
talk to lead investigator Michael Proctor.
yeah. And they're like, well, we
Not my
noticed
fucking
her,
problem, bud.
like,
Wrong state.
her kids
It's like Karen
found
Reed
out
did
she
it.
was missing.
Gary did it.
Yeah. Her kids found out
Leaky
she was
ass
missing
did it.
like 3 days after she, disappeared.
We found a shit
No
stain on
ass.
the driver's seat.
No ass. Leaky balloon hole. Side joke.
And then they're like 5 years later, like, oh, they found her car at a random restaurant in Idaho, but her purse was there, her clothes were there, but she wasn't. Like, okay, now what else? Well, that's
It's like, all right,
unexplained.
follow the DNA evidence.
Yeah. They're like, DNA evidence went to here, and it just disappeared.
And then they submitted the case to Unexplained, and then they're just like, yeah, well, we did our best.
They're like, what's the
Let's
purpose of the show?
let's chalk this one up to Unexplained.
Court case. That's my thing. They're
Well,
like,
then
what are
cold case files comes up, and they're like, after it airs on unexplained, and they're like, "You sure you just want to submit it to unexplained to be done? Because we're here." They're like, "No, don't worry about it."
You get the new detectives like, God damn it, Chief! I was just taking that case over. Yeah,
So
well,
part of being a detective, once you make detective, is you're assigned cold cases. So you have to mandatory. You have to work on cold cases for like X amount of time and like try to dig up stuff. It is really interesting to see like the success rate of new people coming in and like the success rate on those.
Dude, that would be my favorite part about becoming a detective is just to look through shit and see if I can.
It'd be the most frustrating. It'd be the most frustrating thing because it's just where's the DNA evidence? And it's just like, well, it was 1973. So
they didn't have DNA evidence back then.
You know, it was tampered with like cigarette ash from the lead investigator.
Well, shit. Hey, PG, you used to watch the show Homicide Hunter, right?
No.
You didn't watch it with Lieutenant Joe from Colorado Springs?
Oh, Joe Kenda?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
They had that one episode.
Everything with Joe Kenda.
Yeah. They had that one episode where they were remodeling that house and they found that note from the house.
Yeah, in the wall.
Yeah, in the wall, and it's like, I killed this dude.
And there's the unsolved mystery from like the 1800s. It was insane.
And he's like, I knew there was something wrong with this, so I investigated it.
Yeah, and then he just like ends up figuring out exactly who did it.
Yeah, he went to the daughter of the guy that killed her.
Some can say there was just
it
a
was
note
like
in the
the great
wall.
granddaughter.
Oh yeah, the great granddaughter's like, we think your great grandfather's a murderer.
Great grandfather like built the house. In building the house, wrote a full written confession on like who he killed.
And at first, the old lady's like,
when they were
I don't
renovating the
believe
house.
Well, I guess you could say Granddaddy wasn't so good after all.
Well, she
Classic.
No, like at first she did. She's like, he didn't do it, so she kicked
Joe
out of the house. Yeah, and then she calls him back like 2 days later. Is like, okay, I got a story to tell you. It was my great grandfather.
Yeah, and it's like, well, you're under arrest.
That bitch kicked me out, and I knew all along it was him.
It's like, wait, what am I arrested for? It's like, well, he's been dead for like 100-some years, and we got to arrest somebody for murder.
You're the only bloodline for this.
So you're the only bloodline, so you're going to prison.
Your DNA matched.
It's like, hey, look, you're 84 years
body.
old too, so you're going to die within a couple of years. So, it's okay.
Well, what's really scary now is that they can get your DNA at like essentially a match from. Like, even if you have no record, if anyone ever did like a 23andMe or like any kind of ancestry test.
Oh,
they can now subpoena those companies to provide the DNA samples.
So wait, your police department didn't do to you guys what like mine? They got everybody's fingerprints when we were in kindergarten.
I have nope, didn't do it then.
Well, I mean, we were kids. They're like, "Hey, it's career day. Here's a police officer." They're like, "Oh, this is how you do fingerprints."
They brought us to the police station for Cub Scouts.
The cops are looking like, half these motherfuckers going to prison.
I didn't have my fingerprints done.
PJ's like, I'm not going, motherfucker.
Little PJ's like, I'm going to commit some crime in my later years.
I was in third grade.
I
was like,
like, young PJs, why would you not like to have your fingerprint?
PJ's in third grade. You know what? I haven't decided my career path yet. I think I might hold out in just in case I become a criminal.
Yeah. The detective's like, God damn it, that's a smart thinking kid.
God, he's going to be hard to catch one day.
No, the reason I didn't was because I didn't want because back in the day it was like an actual ink pad.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just didn't want the like permanent ink on my fingers for the rest of the day. So I was like, no.
I believe that
they had
100%.
They had the chance to get me. They didn't get me. To this day, I have no fingerprints on file.
Yeah, I believe that.
I don't even use the thumb pad or for the iPhone. I don't even use the thumbprint.
He's like, them bastards won't get me.
This guy's paranoid. You sure you're not a serial killer?
I don't want to be in the
type.
I don't want to be in the
There you go,
position
man.
of being like falsely accused for something, and can be like, "Oh yeah, we found his DNA at the scene, and it matched these fingerprints," because they can easily just like lay a fingerprint down and then copy it and then
What's up, Brandon? How are you?
match a fingerprint to that.
Thank you. A little too paranoid. Me on the other hand, I'm like,
Well, you know, like in the hypotheticals, like I would never. I mean, you guys know me. Like, I'm just saying, like the hypothetical extreme situation in which, like, you know, I were to do some kind of significant crime, which I would never do.
I don't like how he laughed as he said that.
I would never do that. Like, the hell am I gonna do?
Tony,
if anything,
Tony
if
Stewart
anything,
thought
I
he'd
would
never
do-
kill a guy either, but you know.
If anything, I would do like white collar crime.
I don't.
Like,
I
you
think
don't
you're
need
less
fingerprints
likely to
for
do that. I mean, you wrote yourself out multiple budgets, like.
True, I am pretty ethical when it comes to that stuff. But I'm also not a violent person. I mean, like in my college days, I was, but like,
I'm good,
not now.
gentlemen. Thank you for asking. What's up, gaming with toxic? How are you, sir? Ow.
But it's not only for that. It's not only for those reasons. Although, like, you know, just in case. But it's more for
Just in case there's a kid out there with that might be
like
from
government.
PJ's wilder days.
My what? My what?
Wilder days.
Well,
Pretty good.
no, definitely not.
You had to think about it.
True. But like, you know, 15-second recap here. Nope, we're good. I also think like, I don't know, like anything related to like government, like they got everyone's fingerprints on file. Like, who knows what they can do with that stuff? And then like, who knows with that hacking and all that stuff that can happen? Like,
You're
I don't
starting
know.
to sound
You
like
just
Brandon.
can't trust it. There's very few things that are unique to you. Your fingerprint is one of them. Given how we are in 2024, I would like to protect that at all costs. Considering the number of like hacks and all that kind of stuff that's going on. Because like even your social security is exposed.
Oh yeah, nothing's safe anymore. It's like I'm getting a
Right.
letter in the mail like
Right,
every
but
week.
like,
that
so
something's
there's
been-
literally nothing that can like. There's
up,
only
Michael?
one
How
thing
you
that can
doing?
prove your own identity, and that's your fingerprint.
Retina scan.
Yeah, I guess that too.
Nobody's got thunder cheeks like me, so I think I'm safe.
But I'm saying like someone could like scam your social security card, and
Yeah.
I mean that's really like the only in America. That's the only unique identifier outside of DNA.
Not unless you watch Porky's, they can identify you by your penis.
That's true.
Well, it's
Well,
got a
that's
mole on
because
it.
you. Okay. I was gonna say
You've
that's
never
because
seen-
you got a lightning bolt scar on it.
Oh. You never seen Porky's?
It's been a long time since I've seen Porky's.
Oh,
Same.
Porky's.
What's up,
Great.
guitar nerd? How are you?
Hey,
pretty good, Michael.
why do
Thanks
they
for
call her
asking.
Lassie? Oh, you'll find out. Banger upstairs at the gym. Oh, oh, oh!
I feel like those are gonna be the movies like when we're old. Those movies are gonna be like Step Brothers.
Yep.
I remember my grandpa showing me that movie when I was like 5 years old. My
People
grandpa
talk
getting
about
pissed.
Porky's, and then what's the old frat house movie?
Party Animal?
Animal House.
Yeah.
Or Animal House? Yeah, Animal House, not Party.
Where like making references to it all the time, and I'm like, okay, whatever you say.
Oh, like Smokey the
And I was
Bandit.
literally just last weekend for Father's Day, I was just ran through a whole diatribe of Step Brothers, like word for word. It'd be like, Dale, no power tools. I was like, aside from the damage to Pop's boat, which we will pay for, will you invest? It's like, what I think you did to Robert's boat was horrendous. That being said, I think you showed a lot of initiative.
Oh, my favorite is like boats and hose. Boats and hose. Wait, come here.
Is that my boat?
You two fucking idiots are up on top. Who's driving the boat? Shut up, Dad!
Yeah. Yeah, shut up. And it crashes. Oh my god.
I don't know, my favorite part
He's
is
like,
when
I'm gonna
they go for the job
shove your
interview.
hearing aids so far up your ass. You geriatric F.
My favorite is Rob Regal. He's like, man, I don't know why, but I just really want to punch you in the face. Like, you're a great dude.
I say
You're
that.
doing-
Yeah, I say that sometimes.
Like, you just have a very punchable face.
So sometimes when I'm like trying to explain, we have a lot of like a lot of miscommunication in our office. So when I explain it to my wife, like she does her best to understand, and so then I just go like, I think I can figure out this whole Pam situation.
Damn.
PAMN.
Pow!
So yeah,
The
I think
fucking Catalina wine mixer.
I think people, 20 years younger than us, I think they're gonna be hearing quotes from like Step Brothers and stuff instead of like
You're my boy, Blue!
Animal House and
That's going to replace Old School. My boy, Blue!
I think that's even kind of outdated now.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, we still say Boy Blue.
Goddamn, Will Ferrell's going to be like a legend.
He is a legend.
I'm talking about like 20 years down the road. He has like
Well, imagine if he
all,
does like
the
Robert
most,
De Niro style.
quotable comedies.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, like, what if he continues into like old Robert De Niro? Because I mean, like, Robert De Niro's been acting for how long? And then
Like
he
700 years?
Yeah, and then he transitioned into comedy with like, Meet the Parents and stuff. And he's like accepted the role of like angsty grandfather now. Will Ferrell's not there yet. He's close.
If you ain't first, you're last.
But if he steps into that role and does it well, I mean, he could be acting for like another 20 years. Based on the last thing I saw with him, I was like, I don't know. I saw the one with him and Ryan Reynolds doing like the Christmas Carol.
Yeah, I like that movie.
No, it was good. It was good, but I'm just saying, like, he's starting to show his age a bit. Speaking of Ryan Reynolds, we saw If.
Oh, is it good? I
On
haven't
Wednesday.
seen it yet.
Yeah, I mean, aside So, like, for a kids movie, fantastic. Like, one of the better ones I've seen. Me being me, there's like plot holes.
Jeez. It's a fucking kids movie, bud.
I know. So, looking at it from a kids movie perspective, like I actually thought it was, one of the better ones. Like it's beat out some of the Pixar movies.
That ain't hard to do these days. Pixar
Well,
movies going
I mean,
way down
exactly.
now.
Yeah, but you're. I'm pitting Pixar against live action. So. Like, it was well done. I like the concept. I think for the first thing that John Krasinski has like written and created and directed, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's on my list. Anything Ryan Reynolds. I'll give anything Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, that
Okay.
being said, it's just like so like I get when you get to the end of the movie, it all ties together, but it just seemed like a weird relationship between like the girl main character and Ryan Reynolds. Like it was a little like, hey, why are you spending like you're in New York City? Why are you spending so much time with this older man? Kind of vibe.
Okay.
Well, it's like, where's your super? She's probably like, I don't know, like 12 years old. It's like, what are you doing running around New York City at like in the middle of the night?
It's a movie.
With Ryan Reynolds. I get that. And it's a kid's movie, so it's like you're not supposed to think about those things. I get it. So if you put those things aside from like that perspective, because I know at my age, like I wouldn't be thinking about that kind of stuff. So aside from that, I think it was really well done. And I would see it again. And I think there's potential for a sequel.
Well, I'm going to go to bed. It's been a long day.
Your bitch.
Has it been though?
Oh yeah, it's 3 o'clock this morning and hot as fuck all day. It's been a long while. Gotta love cutting up the trees.
Oh, I thought you were out plowing.
No.
Did you see his body in the front yard of the Alberts?
He has no idea what we're talking about.
No, he doesn't.
Nope. Not at all. Well, I'll see y'all tomorrow night.
I probably won't be here tomorrow night.
Oh,
DJ's
you
definitely
son
won't
of-
be.
Yeah.
Well, you bastards.
Yep, taking,
I'm
you
going
know,
to see the Ghost movie tomorrow afternoon, and it's down in Salisbury, so that's like an hour and a half away. So
yeah, taking some time off.
I don't know. I don't know if I get back, it's gonna be later. And
Anyway, I'll be around.
Your little Patuki's gonna be in bed, all tuckered out, dreaming of sugar plums and fairies.
You're dumbass. You realize
Wow.
I've stayed up like every Saturday night playing with you, right?
That's true.
Okay,
He has.
all right, fair enough.
Don't jinx it now.
But just for that, now I'm ready to go to bed like at 5. Fuck.
He would.
Well, not-
he would be like,
We'll still be awake in time for the stream.
I actually would be.
Yeah.
I've done-
tomorrow he's like, it's 4:30. You know what? Fuck Phoenix. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
I would wake up at like 9. Hey, I'm ready to start streaming. Fuck! Failed. Shit. Let me go back to bed. Bye.
I can't sleep.
Either way, just let me know. I'll be around.
Yeah, like I said, the movie's at 3, so it's like 2.5 hours long, I think they said. So after that, we're at dinner, and then it's an hour and a half ride back. So if I do stream, it's gonna be later than usual.
Well, like I said, I'll be around either way, so it don't matter.
Roger that.
All right, good night.
Good night, bitch.
No, bitch.
Bitch.
Did he choke on? Choke on dick there, dude?
bitch. Choked on the bitch.
I just hope that JT looks like that snowplow guy in about 10 years. 10, 15 years. Completely bald.
Well, people were saying on Reddit, they're like, this is the first like friendly bald person that they've seen. Because they show the picture of like all of the state troopers that testified, and they're all bald.
Oh, yeah. No kid.
Yeah. So they're like, this is the first friendly bald person that we've seen that actually knows what they're talking about. And it's just like, yeah, you don't mess with the snowplow driver. Like, they may not be, like, myself included here to an extent, like, you know, working for the DPW. They may not be the smartest people. Like, this guy lived in the town for 35 years. He knew the Alberts because he worked for their pizza company as a delivery driver for like 10 years.
8.
8 years. Sorry. Yeah, 8. Yeah.
Cal was married. So
Yeah, until he got married.
8 years.
Yeah. And then worked for the sewage department for a while. And then, you know, made it to the big leagues.
The big leagues is snowplow driving. In
if you're starting at
let's not forget that.
sewage. Yeah, Franken-Truck. but then apparently he switched trucks halfway through. I didn't really catch that because he was talking about Franken-Truck, and then they switched over, and then he was just like, "Oh yeah." Then I switched over to like an F550 or something.
No,
like that.
they asked him what truck he was driving a couple of years ago, and he said F550. But he got moved into Franken-Truck a couple of years ago. That's the truck he's been primarily driving.
Okay. But it's, yeah. Like, he said, like, his whole testimony was, like, just bomb-proof. It really was. It was, like, went from explain how you, like, what plowing is and how you plow to, like, based on that, like, you're pretty sure about your time frame, and he's like, yeah, definitely. And it's like, yeah, go try to poke holes in this man's plow route, because
the easiest,
he's a delivery driver for 8 years. He knows this town inside and out, like the back of his hand.
Okay.
He knows every street.
But he still can't see.
No, he can't see when it comes to
the TV
stuff
on the other side of the room. He could not see.
Yeah, but I was telling you, like, half the DPW guys that,
and then to see
I
anything
worked
on
with, it was
paper,
just like,
he had
hey,
to take his glasses off and hold the paper up to his face.
dude, I was working with the DPW when they went through, like, contract negotiations with the union. And, like, it was during lunch, and we were all at the DPW headquarters. And so they're all sitting at a table, and I shit you not, like, every single one of them put on a pair of glasses to read the paper. that they were like the contract. Every single one of them.
That's different than not being able to see what was on a big screen TV.
Yeah, but he's also far. They're also like 30 feet away from that screen.
No.
So it looks. Yeah, they are. It looks
No.
bigger to the camera because they zoom in on it.
I've seen the whole courtroom.
You haven't seen the whole courtroom.
From his point of view, you could see.
I would have a hard time reading that shit.
I have terrible
'Cause they
eyesight.
zoom
I
in
can
on
see
it.
that.
No, well, you don't know because you're not sitting in the witness stand. I would tell you, based on the proximity, like I'd probably have a hard time reading some of the stuff that they were asked to read.
And yeah. And even so,
Definitely.
like that's his route. Even if he can't read the words, he should be able to tell the outlines.
No, but what Yannetti and Lally were like the way they were describing things, like you'd need a better description because they're not familiar with plow routes. Like I can tell you as a previous plower that like I need some context. Like I could tell you the plow route, but it's way easier to describe when you're looking at it.
I don't know. I just think
I've got no beef with his testimony.
I think their
I think
defense
it's rock solid.
I think their defenses witnesses so far are a bit shaky.
Wow.
I really do, and that's someone who I don't
No,
necessarily
a
believe
bit
that she's
shaky.
guilty,
Wait,
but I just
A bit
don't.
shaky in terms of
You got the animal expert, the dog bite expert, who heard about the trial through a news article, and then is like, oh, after I saw that, I immediately unsubscribed, and I didn't read anything else. That's already a bit suspicious, for one. Secondly, she couldn't recall her degrees in what they were
no,
in.
but you see what the
and then
prosecution's trying to do? The prosecution is so bad that they tried to accuse her of having an 18 to 24 month subscription of the Boston Globe. Like this is how bad their case is they're
Yeah, but
trying to
I don't care
call
how
out on
bad
how
their
long.
case is. I just feel like
She's like, no, I testified that I had a 6 to 12 month subscription. And they're like, oh, really? We thought you had a 18 to 24 month subscription. What does it matter?
yeah,
What does it matter?
Uh,
And the point is,
I just don't.
it doesn't matter. And they're trying to poke holes wherever they can, and they don't have many holes to poke. So they're going after this stuff.
I'm just saying, if I was sitting there on the jury, being me, I'm gonna be like, this woman seems like she wanted to be a part of the trial, and that's because she reached out. She saw it in
No.
the news before she had
Nope.
even heard anything about it, and was like, and then she conveniently during the voir dire or whatever.
Yeah, the voir dire.
She conveniently left out seeing like 2 pieces of key evidence.
No, so what happened with that? Because you know how they went to break right after she said that?
Yeah, well, yeah, I know. He said that he submitted it to her. He would just assume she read it.
Right, so what happened, so the way the questioning went, it was a bit shaky.
I didn't watch the full questioning of her today. I just know during the voir dire, like he was heavily leading her to answer the questions he needed answered.
Yeah, no, so today, he was trying to get her to do the same thing, and she didn't. And so they had a sidebar that ended up in a recess. And then what came from that is, like, he ended up being allowed to ask the question. Or she was allowed to answer the question. So he didn't want admitted into the testimony that like it would be associated with a dog bite. Like he did not want that
Well, yeah, definitely.
in the testimony.
You don't want that
So,
in there. The whole
yeah,
their
so
explanation
that's
of
why
how he
that's why
got
they
it
went to the sidebar.
doesn't make any sense to me. The whole
It's definitely a dog bite. It's
Yeah.
definitely a dog bite. Like
well,
I was saying, like
definitely
the
a bite of
fact
some
that
sort.
the fact that she pointed out, which like the medical examiners failed to recognize, were the puncture wounds that were in front of the scrapes or the abrasions to his arm. And she's like, oh yeah, those are classic puncture wounds. So it looked like, got the initial bite and like indicative of like someone trying to pull back where they like punctured but then moved their arm, so then it just resulted in an abrasion or scrape along the arm after the puncture wound.
So wait, did she say it was from a dog?
So she's not allowed to say that it's from a dog.
I was gonna say, because she even said herself in that day that she couldn't say it was from a dog, but it was definitely consistent with a
So her
dog of a larger breed.
If she were to be able to fully testify, she would say that it was from a dog. But
she didn't even say that during the
not allowed to.
No,
because she's not allowed to.
No, during the Valdir or whatever. How are you?
Even that.
She didn't even say it then. She just said she couldn't tell you what it was from. Just that it was from a.
The defense told her that she can't say that it's from a dog, so she's not allowed to say, like, based on her expertise, this is from a dog bite, because she doesn't have certain qualifications like an ME. So she has to say it is from a large animal consistent with, or from an animal consistent with a large dog. That's the extent of which she can say. But she can't just say, like, oh yeah, those are, dog bites.
So that woman, to me, if I was a juror, she's questionable.
No, she's
and
not.
Then the guy you bring in.
Well, the jury can't be a part of the voir dire stuff, because they talked about all of this. They're like, like her scope is very limited into what she can talk about. Like, so she can't have any context into like what else could have caused that. She couldn't.
But what I'm saying, if I was a juror, like, yeah, see her, I wouldn't. She doesn't do anything. And then the snowplow guy. My main problem with him is, if I'm a juror and I'm seeing them sitting there struggle to see anything, how am I supposed to believe that him not seeing a body is like 100% like a?
I still think you need to.
He can't be.
You still need to get more into the case. I think you need to do some more background.
No, I think me being not knowing like what everybody else has to say is making me a little bit more clear. I watched the highlights. Oh no. Shit! Hey, bud.
Shit! Hey, bud. Okay. No, that's all you. That's all you.
All right. I was doing your head rows here, so you didn't have to worry about flipping around on the road there. You could just.
No, I'll.
No, you go ahead. I'm just doing your head rows for you. You want to continue?
No, I'll let you get through this. I was just gonna treat this as one big field, even though there's a cut through.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I'm just doing the end rows here. I was gonna do the end rows on all fields, so like the first 2 rows this way, and then you go.
Yeah, but
I'm
not doing corn how you like it.
No, go ahead.
Oop.
He said that's why I'm doing this. That way you got room to spin around. You don't have to worry about.
Because based on the way that we're unloading corn here, I'm gonna have to constantly be moving. So I'm just doing AI stuff.
But see, I'm at the point now where it's like I don't know which side to be on, because I have my issues with both sides, and like if I had to, because of the prosecution's supposed to prove it with beyond the reasonable doubt.
Yeah, it is reasonable
I'd have
doubt,
to say
though.
not guilty.
Yeah, it is reasonable doubt. Like, they have not proven to a T that she's guilty, and I think that's why the defense, like, I thought there was going to be some kind of like smoking gun that they had, and based on who they're putting on the stand, I don't think so, because they said that their defense is only going to be like 4 days max, and that was depending on the prosecution's questioning. So, like, conservatively, I think they'll probably rest on Tuesday. So, based on that and based on the witnesses today, I think they probably only have like less than 10 witnesses. So, they either have a smoking gun or they're relying on reasonable doubt.
I'm gonna put it on that they're relying on reasonable doubt.
I don't think so. I think they're going to end with a bang.
It's got to be a pretty good big bang.
I think there could be one.
Really, at this point, what do you think they have up their sleeves that could make you believe beyond a shadow, if you don't already believe?
If anything, it's going to be time inconsistencies. I think is what they're going to be trying to prove.
Where's my other mouse?
Because they're already starting to work that. Why is this not unloading?
Let me check on here real quick.
There we go. Because there's already time inconsistencies, and they're proving that. Where there's like a 3-minute differential. And also like the radius to the house from John O'Keefe's phone.
Yeah, okay. Just no one's talking, alright. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's a scumbag though, so even if she's found guilty, like I wouldn't lose sleep over it.
I don't know.
Does make me
I don't know.
never
If
want
you
to
saw
drive in that town ever.
Yeah. I think if you saw the McCabe's and the Alberts and like Higgins, if you saw their full testimony, I think you'd be a little bit more like, got it.
I watched the highlights of it, and is it Jen McCabe?
Jen McCabe
She's
is
fucking creepy.
Mm-hmm.
she's a fucking creeper. And like, have you watched the 3D rendering on TikTok?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
No,
You're not gonna blast a
if
guy
she's-
30 feet backwards going 24 miles an hour. Like the basic physics of that does not make sense because like of the law of motion.
That and like
purely
if she was
from the law
looking
of
out the
motion.
window, the front door the whole time, she would have saw it happen.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, what if she did do it? And we're so, like, as a nation, just wanting to disbelieve cops and think they're all corrupt and all this, that they're just like, yeah, let's hit that angle. People will believe it. I mean, you got a house full of drunk people.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like the average BAC of these people is like over 0.2. So like, let's just assume they're just like 3 times over the legal limit. And yet they're driving around and like making decisions when it comes to homicides.
Oh, this is soybeans. That's why it's not unloading. Like I said, after reading like their text back and forth, I think if anyone has any part of it, it's Higgins. Like that seems plausible to me.
Well, it makes the most sense because like if you look at it, like he's the most high up in the government. Like he's with ATF. So he can kind of dictate what everyone else does, and he has the experience to do so.
And then when she was like, "Well, John died," and he just nothing. Just, the text message immediately ended there. It's like he already knew. I guess he's gonna play dumb about it.
Yeah. I know. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, there's no way. Like, if she did do it, then she was completely blackout drunk. Which would explain why she doesn't remember anything, given her level of intoxication. But also, like, you're dealing with an entire family of law enforcement ranging from like local Canton PD to Mass State Police to ATF. You don't think they're capable of like, or they don't know of like, hey, here's the things that they look into, so we need to cover X, Y, and Z up. Like for the dog bite marks, like you don't think they could have been like, hey, let's just like rub the entire thing with like alcohol swabs, because they're gonna look into that. So they can't get any DNA from that.
Wouldn't the medical examiner be able to pick up on that though?
I don't know, but I think they're testing for DNA. So if there's no DNA, then they're going to be like, oh yeah, there's no DNA.
And what's the previous bite history of? Has this dog bit people before?
Not people, other dogs, though.
Oh.
So it's not friendly towards, like, strangers. And I think that's the deciding factor is, like, my parents' dog, Hooper, is not friendly towards other dogs. So we keep him away from other dogs. But, like, he actually, like, went after my dad one time. And, like, gashed his leg to the point where, like, I had to come over and, like, suture him up and then take him to the ER.
Damn.
It's because he was being protective of a toy. That he thought the other dog, Finn, was taking from him. But then my dad was trying to reach for the toy at the same time. So his tooth left a huge gash in his leg to the point where it required stitches. But around regular people, like, no problem. So it could have been one of those one-off events in that, like, the dog didn't know what was going on because he was being attacked. And O'Keefe was trying to defend himself, so the dog just went after him. I mean, it's a German Shepherd, for Christ's sake. Outside of Rottweilers is like the most protective breed of dog. So, like I said, based on what I'm hearing now from the defense, I think that this was a planned murder gone wrong. And that they weren't expecting the dog to get involved. It did. And then they panicked.
So you think that they plan? So what if it was planned? Why invite them both back to the house? Or are they just gonna off both of them?
I don't think she was invited.
They said they invited both of them back to come back to the house.
Well, so Gemma Cave's job was to play distraction. Because Gemma Cave and Karen Reed aren't really like friends.
But it's just like they're going on. Oh, everybody says they were so happy at the bar. But text messages and voicemails clearly prove that there was something going on. And how could they be this happy couple when she's, you know... I'm going to assume they hooked up because the way the text messages were put, that it sounded like he went over to her place or whatever when she's hooking up with another dude. Higgins? Yeah, in their text, I'm pretty sure the text message is like she invited him over.
Oh yeah, but she's the one that's calling him a pervert and stuff. So she was under the impression
that whole text messages back and forth sounded like a freaking like a couple teenagers. It was.
Yeah, it's white trash South Shore drunk people. Like that's like, you've seen the Jersey Shore?
No.
Okay.
I did not.
Well,
I did not.
If you know anything about the Jersey Shore, it is exactly like that. You get absolutely shit-faced, and then you blame each other for stuff that, like, you think happened, or you think it, like, is in your mind that you assume is happening, but it's, like, probably not happening. But you're, like, dead set on it. And that's how the Jersey Shore became popular, because people like watching that shit.
Oh yeah, just like the trip or whatever, where she accused him of like making out with someone. Or
Yeah,
something.
but like it probably never happened.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's kind of like that around here.
Yeah.
So like if she was so upset by it, like I don't think she thinks that he was like hooking up with anyone there. I think she was more mad at the fact that like he was using her as a chauffeur to go somewhere that he was invited to, but she wasn't invited to. Because she already feels like the nanny without benefits, or nanny with benefits in
From
that
everything
situation.
I've seen, she was invited.
She was not invited. No,
Pretty sure.
no, she wasn't invited.
Everything that I've seen, they've said that they were both like they were hanging out with friends, and they were all mutual friends, and then they were both invited back to this place where John had never been.
Yeah. So what we don't see is the conversation between Karen Reed and Jim McCabe. Which was convincing Karen Reed not to go over there.
Oh, where's that at?
We haven't seen that.
So how we know it exists?
I don't know. I don't know if that exists, but I'm saying like that's gonna be the deciding factor, because like if you think about it, like neither of them have been over to these people's houses before. There's a motive for one of them at that house to cause bodily harm to the other, or to John O'Keefe. They wouldn't want to have Karen at the house at the same time. So if you look at the message exchange and like voicemails and stuff between Jim McCabe and Karen, like Jim McCabe, first of all, when they find the body, sounds not surprised at all. She's just like, "Oh, I'm sorry. And you hear Karen Reed freaking out, just been like, "What happened? Get some towels, get something to warm him up, In the background, Jim McCabe's just like, "I'm sorry." Dude, you can't admit that they have nothing to do with it. Stop.
I've already said that if she didn't have, if it wasn't
She
her,
didn't have
then
anything to do with
I
it.
think it was Higgins. Like Higgins,
The only
to
thing I
me,
can think
is the
of
most-
is that it was a cover-up gone wrong, in which, like,
but I don't.
let's
I don't
hypothetically say that Karen Reed was in on it. All right, let's say that.
I'm
Just
not
like,
even saying that.
I want
I
to be
just,
with. I want to be with Higgins.
I don't think
but
it was planned.
I do. I
If
do.
these people
It's
are
definitely premeditated.
this trashy, like what makes you think it didn't happen? That they were,
It was
Higgins.
100% premeditated.
I don't think it was like planned. I don't think it was planned. I think to me, what makes sense is okay. So you have John at the house at the same time Higgins is there as well. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the guy who is from the text messages I've seen, he's banging his woman. I'm pretty sure. I think they were.
I don't think so.
I have to see if I can find that video where they were going through their text messages back and forth, where she was talking about.
Oh no,
meeting
I've
up
already
at-
seen all.
meeting up
Yeah, very
at
soon.
her house, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm so glad I came," or I came last night, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm glad you came too." Like that to me. What else would they be sneaking out and meeting at her house in secret for? I don't think it was to watch, Game of Thrones and drink some wine. No, they were banging.
Mm,
So I think at least they've banged at least once. And if these people are all that trashy, Higgins has bragged about it. And probably
yeah.
something got brought up, and they're probably making fun of him, and shit happens, and then Higgins ends up just like, he's like, you know what? I want your woman, and starts beating him up. That's what makes sense to me. I don't think it was like planned. I think it was just a bunch of dumbasses that are drunk and get rowdy. Especially when you have a man whose woman could, or at least wants to bang another dude at the party.
Right, but
And
in the
constantly
voicemails,
flirting.
she's calling him a pervert.
Calling John a pervert?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's done that prior, but yet there's text messages where she's constantly flirting with Higgins, so...
Well, we don't know that she's done that prior, but...
No, she was constantly flirting with Higgins. Well, no, she's called him a pervert before because of the whole incident where they went on that trip, and she saw him talking to someone in the hotel lobby. So, like, she's accused him of shit before, but, like, if you read through the text messages, like, this is a woman who is in a relationship that I don't think she necessarily wants to be in. Because, like, every time...
No, it's a classic case of just, like, you're fed up with the relationship, but you're used to the relationship, so you're gonna, like, continue to do, like, your relationship things. So, like, when he was working odd hours and stuff, like, she would go over and take care of the kids.
Yeah.
So when she's just like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna leave your kids. I'm gonna leave your kids here," and then the voicemail after that, she was like apologetic about that. She's just like, "I'm sorry, I'm here." Like, none of those voicemails which are all after allegedly the time that he was killed. Like, none of them seem like voicemails that you would leave to, like, cover your trail. Like,
I heard him.
She seemed genuinely angry. Like,
but then again,
I've gotten a few of those voicemails in my day, and I can tell you, like,
maybe she didn't know at that time she hit him.
I don't think so. There's no reason for him to be standing there, too. Why is he going to be standing like 5 feet off the road? Like, why would she drop him off there? Why would she drop him off there?
Maybe she took off and he went after her.
No.
Like, he started walking out, like,
no, because one of the things that,
and then she
which is
didn't know he
interesting,
was there,
that's
just
not
doing
been
reverse.
documented, and the defense alluded to it today, is the footprints. No one took any pictures of footprints in the snow.
My thing is the whole
Don't
taillight
you find
pieces.
that interesting?
The whole taillight pieces is beyond, like, there's no way they can sit there and say that that's where the pieces actually were, because they're using a fucking snowblower to look for evidence. Like, little pieces of a taillight is going to be blown from a snowblower.
They were using a leaf blower. Yeah.
Oh yes, sorry, leaf blower, not snowblower. But they were using
there's
a snow
no
or
way.
leaf blower.
There's no way. Like, which is, like, how can you not prove that that shit was planted? Tell me.
I don't know. If it was
Dude, I'll get you on
planted.
my side at the end. I'll get you on my side
I
at
don't
the
know
end of
if
the
it
day.
was
because
planted. I don't think that's
the
where they
vast majority of
originally
people
were.
believe that she's innocent.
Yeah, because people are gonna believe what they want to believe, and that's what the defense is playing into. They were like, let's get this whole corruption story going. People are gonna believe police are corrupt.
You have to admit that up until this point, the prosecution's case has been super weak.
Yeah, no, I'm saying they have not proved to me beyond a reasonable doubt that she did it.
Yeah.
If she did, it didn't happen in the way that they're presenting.
Telling it.
No
Yeah.
problem. There's no
That's what I'm saying.
argument
Like,
on
is
that.
there a chance that she accidentally backed over? But also, like, I have to say that, like, listen, given the snow conditions on the road, which were, like, with snowstorms and, like, with plowing and stuff, like, they plow the road, but it's not down to, like, bare bones, right?
Yeah.
During a blizzard, it's just, like, you got, like, a couple inches of, like, hard pack there.
Mm-hmm.
In order to accelerate to almost 25 miles an hour in such a short span of
time. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's
and for him to fly 30 feet, like, do you know how you'd have to be going like 100 miles an hour in any direction? I don't care if it's forward or backwards to make a pedestrian fly 30 feet. My God, like, that doesn't make sense.
no. The storyline does
you
not.
have to agree. You have to agree with me on that.
No, I'm saying they're
But that's
story
the,
of
that's
how
the
it
case.
happened
That's
doesn't make any
That's the
sense.
prosecution's case. Like,
Yeah,
they're
I think they
saying
should've-
that, like, oh
they
yeah,
should've
she
gone
hit
back
him
to the
doing like
drawing board
25
this
miles an hour. It's like, I don't think I've ever backed up at 25 miles an hour in my life. I don't even think my
Yeah. But
vehicle
you also gotta
could
play
do
into
25
the fact
miles an
that
hour in reverse.
she's drunk.
Do you think your car could do 25 miles an hour?
I don't want to find out either.
No, I don't think a
But I'm not a drunken
high-class
scumbag.
Lexus could do that either. They were doing like the reports and stuff with I think it was Tully. Like doing the videos and stuff. And they like were driving her car back. And it was just like, yeah. If you were doing a 3-point turn, you'd need like a freaking 100 yards to get up to speed to do that kind of collision. Never have I been asked, like, oh, what's your 0 to 60?
In reverse.
Right?
Yeah,
like, come on, you can
The story that
You can
that's
understand
being
that that
told
does not
doesn't
make
any
sense.
sense. No, it doesn't
So,
make any
do
sense.
I agree with you that, like, she may have been a part of it? Yeah, I do. I think that she may have been in on it. With a certain plan in
now,
place.
If you put
But
two
I think
into that she
things
might
went
have had
south.
plan in it, then I would, if you include her in the plan to kill him, then I would say, yeah, okay, it could be like planned out.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to
I
have
do think
her.
that's what happened.
It has to have her as in the whole
No.
the planning
So
scenario. It has to have her in it. If not, it was just a bunch of drunk idiots. That,
Well, that hasn't been... So that is not an angle that has been looked at. Because this is just free Karen Reed. This is not like, did Karen Reed have any involvement in a mass cover-up? Because we know it's a mass cover-up to this point. All the evidence indicates that. I think she was a part of it, and then she kind of boned it a little bit because she was too drunk. And then everyone else just put it on her. Because they're like, shit, well,
fuck, Karen, you fucked up.
Yep. You effed it up. And, like, now it's going to be pinned on you. I feel like that's completely reasonable. Because it's obvious that she was tired of, like, taking care of his kids. It was obvious that he wasn't going to make any kind of commitment. So it would make sense that she would be in on it. But when shit went south and like not according to plan, that the rest of them, because they're all law enforcement and stuff, they were just like, well, we got to pick the outlier, and she was the outlier. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, I'm saying if she was involved in the whole thing, then okay, I could buy your it's premeditated. But if she's
I think
not
she was
involved, then I don't know. I think it might just been just a bunch of drunk assholes that
just beat him beyond recognition accidentally.
Yeah. No, not accidentally.
So, yeah,
I think they got there and people started mouthing off, and then
yeah, kick him in the head, hit him with the bat. I think he got hit in the head with a bat.
Well, he's a police officer. You sure they didn't get hit in the head with a baton?
No, I think it was 100% an aluminum bat from Colin's years of Little League.
Are you still sticking with Colin? I don't think Colin had anything to do with it.
No, I'm saying, like, the bat would be from Colin's.
Oh. It's just weird that someone dies literally in people's front yard and they don't even attempt to ask to look around the house. Like, that's...
I know. That's the big thing. It's just like, murder occurred on this property. Why wouldn't you look into it? So that's why I'm saying it goes above Proctor. I was telling you yesterday, like, it goes above Proctor. Like, yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, but it wasn't just him on scene. There's so many other people involved.
We came to find out. We came to find out that, like, Tully was leading this whole thing. So yeah, Proctor was, like, quote unquote lead investigator, but I think he got caught up in a bigger scandal that he didn't know about, which he wouldn't know about because Higgins is ATF. So he can kind of, like, control everything because he's federal.
So who was the guy that got rid of the phone? I haven't figured that, like, that you and Matt were talking about. I haven't figured that out yet. Who was the guy that went on base and got rid of the phone?
Albert.
Okay. I haven't come across that. Anyone talking about that?
Yeah, so he works at the Canton PD. So the big issue with that is Canton PD was supposed to recuse themselves because it was involving, like, Canton PD.
Yeah, that's the other part that, like, even Proctor knows.
He's supposed to recuse themselves from that. However, they remained involved in the entire investigation because they brought the car to Canton PD instead of going to one of the Mass State Police places. So there was actually a Mass State Police it's called like the Sally Port. They actually had Sally Ports closer to, so the Foxborough one would have been the closest to them. Instead, they went to Canton PD. So, the fact that it was turned over to Mass State Police based on the recusal of Canton PD, it should have gone to a Mass State Police headquarters. It didn't. They dropped the car off at the Canton PD. And then you have all like the timestamp stuff and like the missing footage, the skip aheads, and the footage inverted intentionally to deceive everybody. So like I don't know how you can't call this a cover up.
Oh, I didn't say I didn't believe that they botched some shit. Like, they definitely botched it. And maybe the cover-up was them fucking the investigation so bad. I don't think they... Like, that's a lot of police officers to be involved.
I don't think you understand the span of which the Mass State Police has. I mean, like I was saying before, like you don't really know about the overtime scandal.
No, I have no clue what that is.
So Mass State Police was falsifying their timesheets to get overtime. When in fact they were not working overtime. So they were essentially getting their like overtime wages for their 40-hour shifts, and they had someone in the Mass State Police like proving all of that. Which has cost us over $500,000.
Are you saying Mass State Police is a bunch of corrupt assholes?
Yeah, definitely. It goes back to Whitey Bulger. I mean, Whitey Bulger had Mass State Police on payroll. There's a long, all right, let's put it this way. There's a long history of corrupt police officers in Massachusetts. Well, you ever seen like The Departed or whatever that movie, White Cross, whatever it is, the movie about Whitey Bulger?
No.
Yeah, it's pretty well known. So, yeah, Whitey Bulger used to have like half of the Atlanta State Police under his payroll. They just looked the other way. So it's been corrupt for some time, and no one's ever done anything about it.
So why would they go so far? Like, she's pretty insignificant. Why would they go
Well,
so
it's a murder.
far? Okay.
So you got to cover up the murder.
Yeah, but the last thing they want is this much media coverage.
So
Why wouldn't they just be like, yeah, you know what?
So
Like,
what they
you're gonna have to-
did not expect this to get this kind of media exposure, because they initially charged her with manslaughter, and they thought that she was going to plea down, but she filed a not guilty plea, and then the grand jury, well, not the grand jury, but they upgraded the charges to second-degree murder from manslaughter, in hopes of getting her to
What's up, Chad?
plea
How you doing,
down
man?
from that, considering the charges were more. And then when she pled not guilty to that, then they're like, oh shit,
Now, see, now that makes sense.
we actually have to go to trial. Yeah, so she was in February, I think in February she was charged with manslaughter, and then I think in like April or June, the charges got upgraded to second-degree murder, because they found out that she was pleaded not guilty. So the conspiracy is like they just wanted to get rid of it by her, taking a plea deal, and then she's like, absolutely not, and then they're just kind of like, well, shit. Now we're gonna actually have to like cover up the case. So when you've been seeing the people that were interviewed originally in like 2022, like shortly after, like the months following in 2022, that's when most people are being interviewed, and then you're seeing a next round of people that are being interviewed in like late 2023, early 2024. It's because the charges got changed. So, yeah. Like I said, there's a whole lot more to this story.
Yeah, see now.
And you know the history of them also getting away with a homicide. I think like 3 years before, in like 2019,
No.
there was something. Okay. There's some similar circumstances in which they were no longer charged, and case got dismissed, I believe.
Oh.
The Alberts.
I haven't heard anyone talk about what's this all about.
Oh.
Dude, I watched a ton of TikTok recaps, and this is the first I'm hearing about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's another homicide that was, I think it was either dismissed from trial or ended up being not ruled a homicide. I forget. Hang on.
Going on a cruise to Alaska? Nice. Nice.
Nah, I can't find it.
That's what I'm looking at too, and everything that comes up is about John.
Oh. What I have coming back is the well, different John McCabe. Well, John McCabe, yeah. From 1969. It might be the Alberts. Ah. They may have paid someone to go through and just like delete that. But as far as I know, there are ties to them getting away with another murder.
Man, can we just say that Brian Albert looks like a killer?
Yeah. Yeah. But can we also agree that, like, based on the evidence, like, there is a reasonable doubt?
Oh yeah, no, I'm 100%. There's no argument for me. Like that
Imagine
is
getting launched 30 feet from a car going 24 miles an hour. Like, the physics alone doesn't exist. So if you do just like the inertia, like for physics, if you just do like the math on that.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't.
it doesn't like an object traveling at X amount of speed, like, is not going to cause another object to travel at a faster speed in the opposite direction. Like, they're saying that dude traveled 30 miles an hour at the same time, doing like a 360 rotation.
My problem with it is, you know, I think the police work was so botched that instead of admitting their faults, they just went
Oh
with
no,
this.
they're holding up to it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Instead of just admitting their faults, like, there's no way you're gonna tell me those were the original places for
They're
those
they're-
taillight pieces. If in fact those taillight pieces were there and weren't planted there, you're not going to convince me that was the original place when they're using fucking leaf blowers to look for
Right.
evidence. Like
Right.
those pieces would have been blown. Oh, they're
But also,
maybe
like,
that
a
one
good point
big
that was
piece
brought up on
would
a good
be.
point that was brought up on Reddit today was like, so like the medical examiner.
Sorry, I hit
today,
my mic.
or I think it was yesterday. Like, if she didn't know something, she was just like, I don't know, I don't know. Versus anytime they question the state police on anything, like, they never had an answer of I don't know or I don't recall. It was just like defending themselves.
That's what
So
I'm
people
saying.
like telltale sign of someone that's lying is like if they honestly don't know something, like they're gonna tell you they don't know, versus someone that doesn't know something, they're just gonna make up some stuff and question why you don't think their opinion is valid. And then looking back on that, I was like, well, that's the entire Mass State Police. Every time they were challenged on something, they
What's up,
never
Doug? How you
said,
doing,
"Oh,
man?
I don't know." Like, they always felt like they had to provide like an answer. Let's put it this way: if the prosecution is right and Karen Reed did it, they have not put on a good performance to conclude that. If anything, they've brought up more questions
Yeah, that's what I'm trying
on
to say.
the
Like,
redirects. Like on the redirect, like defense has poked holes in every single thing that the prosecution has brought, and prosecution so far today is in terms of what the defense has brought. Like, they haven't really been able to poke holes.
Chad, where'd your message go, man?
So either we have a last witness smoking gun, or defense is relying on the jury to use some common sense, which is variable from person to person.
Yeah, that's a big risk.
Yeah, but the easier thing they have is, I mean, when you go to appellate court, Like, this will be excused instantly in appellate court.
My way of thinking, is I don't know if it was essentially a cover up to, like, I think it was just the police work was so bad.
No.
They botched it so bad.
Nope.
That instead of just admitting that they were wrong, like,
Nope.
they were like, we're gonna stick with this outlandish story.
Nope.
You can say
Listen,
no. That's just what makes sense to me.
If I were Proctor, who just got completely dumped on,
No worries, Chad. Like I said,
I'd be like, all of my instructions were taken
that's
by
cool. Like, how long of a cruise you gonna be on? And where are you leaving from? Like,
dump it on him.
yeah, but that's it. It's his career. Like, he's gonna.
Yeah.
If he goes in there,
I mean, he's done. He's done. He's under FBI investigation, so like his career's done.
Yeah, well, his career and possibly his life could have been done if he didn't toe the line. I don't know. I don't think
when
we'll
I would.
ever know.
That's when I would testify if I were him. Like,
I'll get some
under threat of death.
witness protection.
I made. Yep.
But I think we've already discussed that he's not the most intelligent of people.
No. No, and that's what, like, I feel bad for him in the sense that he had to read all those text messages. But at the same time, I don't, because it's like you said them. So it's like, are those your words, Mr. Proctor? Yes. Go ahead and say them. But beyond that, I don't think he knew. I think he was just doing his job. So I have more blame on Tully.
It's a bit weird though. The whole thing. No matter what the case is, the whole thing is fucked. The whole thing's fucked.
I agree.
And all the people involved are fucked.
Yeah. I mean, considering how F they are and like how connected they are, don't you think it's convenient that instead of going to the actual like mass state facility to process a car, they're like, oh no, we're just gonna go to Canton PD to process the car? Like, you don't think that's curious?
There's a whole list of things that make me scratch my head with this whole ordeal. Like
I know.
Proctor
I
being
know.
so close to the Albert. It's Proctor that was like his. Colin was like in his sister's wedding or something.
They knew. Yes.
So
They
Proctor
knew
should
ahead.
have.
No.
Like,
he should have recused himself.
that's what I'm saying.
Yes. But he didn't for a specific reason. But you have what's his name that works for the ATF?
The guy who I think did it.
Higgins.
Yeah.
So you don't think he knows how to process a crime scene and isn't sitting there being like coordinating everything?
But also, like, why would they choose Proctor as the scapegoat?
He's not a scapegoat.
If he's so close to the family.
Jen Reed's the scapegoat.
Yeah, but he's the one looking like an idiot on the stand. Like, he's the one taking the fall for
because
the
they know that
whole...
he can because he's not the one on trial.
Yeah, but
It's only
you're
going to
ruining
bounce back
this guy's
in
career.
his ass. Yeah,
If
it's
he's
only
so
gonna
close to the
no,
family,
it's
why
not
would
gonna-
they ruin him?
Because it's murder. Like, what would you rather do? Would you rather do 20 to life? Or would you rather just lose your job?
That's what I'm saying, but if he's not the guy in charge of this whole thing, Proctor being, why is, if it's a cover-up, the family having something to do with
Proctor's
it,
lead
why is
investigator,
Proctor
but I
taking
believe
the
it.
fall?
I believe Proctor, as horrible as he is with his text messages and stuff, I think he's just stupid. I think he's just dumb. I think he's taking orders from above, which would be Tully. Like all right. Proctor's so low on the totem pole that he feels like his text messages don't mean a thing. If you are higher up, and the higher up you get, like, you have to pay more attention to the things that you say and who you say them to. Definitely. That's just the way that, like, corporate America works. So I truly think Proctor is stupid as shit. Based on his text messages. But I think he was being directed by Tully. And I think for the case for Massachusetts, that Proctor was being used
The hell?
for everything, because he did all of the interviews, he did everything related to the case. So they're like, oh, if anything goes wrong, we can just pin it on him.
server PC just like spazzed out. Like, what the hell? Yeah, I guess. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Oh, driver timed out. Makes sense.
I mean, you can agree that there's more evidence leading to Karen Reed not doing it than there is Karen Reed doing it.
I don't know. There's not evidence with anything telling me any of them did it. Like, what's the evidence that's saying?
So at that point, as a juror, you'd have nothing else to do but to say not guilty.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like,
Yeah.
I don't.
She's not guilty. She may have been involved, or it may have happened the way that the prosecution has laid it out. Maybe. But
Oh, there's no way it
there
happened
is-
the way they've laid it out.
well, yeah, I know. Well, I mean, that's my point, man. Like, there's no way that could have happened. So she's not guilty.
She's not innocent though.
No, and that's why I'm going to my point. Like, she was in on it, and then it went south, so she got pinned. I mean, that makes sense, right?
I don't know.
All right.
The only way it makes sense to me for it being premeditated is she was in on it. That's the only thing I'm gonna agree on. Like, if it was
But
premeditated,
no,
she was
I'm
definitely
saying-
100% in on it.
I'm saying she's like, it's gonna be not guilty, or like she's a part of the premeditation. I actually think it would be very interesting if they went ahead and called her as a witness. But they shouldn't.
Yeah, no, shit she's saying, I don't think they're gonna call her as a witness.
Yeah. No, I think it's all talk.
No, she's saying all the right things. Like, when they asked her if she, like, they asked her how does she want to get on the stand and defend herself, she's like,
I would, but
I would, but it's for the people who make that call, or the lawyers, and they're not so certain. So I'm like,
no. All right. So again, you don't understand like this class of people. Like, if it were up to her, 100% she'd be testifying. She's also like $1 million, to put it lightly, like in the hole for her defense. So she has to rely on what they say.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
like, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's what the defense wants to do.
Yeah, no, she's gonna stay secret, and then she's gonna write a book, called "I didn't do it, but if I did, here's how I do it."
They've already been talking about the.
She's already filming a documentary.
Yeah. Yep. Because I'm watching the person on TikTok that's filming the documentary, so he can't post the footage. So he has someone actually following him. So he's actually doing the documentary. We're like, oh man, Apple's gonna have a field day. It's like true.
Yeah, she's gonna write a book, and that's how she's gonna pay for her defense team. That
So
documentary,
that's what
a movie.
Some people are, yeah. That's what some people are speculating is like the fact that the trial has caught so much national attention that she's not paying him. He's gonna be paid in like royalties for documentaries.
Well, then I'm not watching documentaries because I don't want a penny going to that fucking Alan Jackson.
I love him.
I hate him.
You said Unity today. He sucks. And you saw they brought the girl Little on there today.
I just can't stand. I can't stand Alan Jackson.
Well, did you see how the other two did their job?
Not really. I was at my dad's most of the day, so I only caught like the start of Snowplow Guy.
So they actually had for Snowplow Guy, they actually had the girl who I'd never seen before. She was the one doing the questioning. And then Unity did the rest of the day. And it just really wasn't that good.
It's better than Alan Jackson. That
You gotta have
smug, pompous face of his. I just want to punch it so bad.
Well, wouldn't he be the person that you want?
No. I would
Really?
plead guilty just to get out of him being my lawyer.
Wow. Dude has done so much. See, that's what I'm saying. We have varying degrees of involvement in the Karen Reed trial.
Now, see, if I had defense lawyer, I want. Well, I don't know if he does defense or murder trials or whatever, but Johnny Depp's lawyer, that dude was cool as shit.
No, 100%. I want JC.
Who's JC?
Oh, that's what they call him.
Alan Jackson? JC?
Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds like a terrible nickname. Where's the C come from?
His first name.
His name's Alan Jackson.
Oh, sorry, AJ. Sorry, AJ. Sorry.
Oh.
AJ.
Okay.
AJ.
How you get JC out of AJ?
I don't know. I was watching a lot of like Backstreet Boys NSYNC stuff on TikTok recently.
Okay. Sorry.
Did you see the TikTok with the in-sync fan
No.
that just like obliterated the dance moves? Man, that was something else. Really? You haven't seen that?
No. I'm also Team Backstreet Boys, so I don't get much instinct.
No, this is the combo. So this is AJ with Backstreet Boys, right?
Yeah.
And then what's the fat guy that has his own hot dog stand? from
Joey?
NSYNC? Yep. Yeah, it's the two of them doing a tour.
Yeah. I knew about that. I know about Joey because he's on Practical Jokers. All right. So we gotta wait for sunflowers now. And okay, it looks like he's plowing. Else need lime. We need to lime everything. It looks like Jesus, Pete. Man, not nobody talking. Yeesh. Looks like we got pick stones there. Oh, he's already plowed that. Got it. I guess I can, he's got a stone picker around here somewhere. I can steal that. There it is. And I can start picking the rocks. So, through the Amazon Vine program that my wife's part of, I got this. It's essentially an Android phone without the phone feature. It's an Android MP3 player. But I was like, I could take that, hook it to the Bluetooth speaker while we're at the pool. I can just fill it up with music, and I don't have to worry about, taking up space on my phone, all that jazz. So I loaded it up a while ago, and I took it with me today, and I was sitting there listening to music, and a song come on, and I was like, wait, who's this? Why? I've never heard this song. Why are they on my playlist? And I was like, oh, this is Fall Out Boy from when they were good. I couldn't even recognize his voice.
Oh, from like under the cork tree.
Before that. When they were good. Really good. Under the Cork Tree is good. But really good beforehand.
It's great.
Yeah. After that sucked.
Agreed.
But I was like, it was
My wife went and saw them in concert last year, and I was just, she's like, "Do you want to go?" I was like, "No."
nah. Talking about 2007 Fall Out Boy, all in. Today's Fall Out Boy, nah. Not really. Pete Wentz looking like an old fart with a flamethrower. No, thank you. If I wanted to go see that, I'd go to a Rammstein concert. But I put it on Party Shuffle, and it was like him, Ghost, the lead singer, the old lead singer of Evans Blue, Kevin Madison, Fall Out Boy, Phil Collins, Bob Seger. It was all over the place. My wife was just like, "What is this?" I was like, "This is if you put my music taste on shuffle. This is what you get." Even had WWE theme songs mixed in there. At one point, she's like, "Why does this sound like Kid Rock?" I was like, "This is a Dudley Boys theme song."
You should know this.
Yeah. I mean, it starts off with the... And they kept talking about tables. Like, obviously. Today was a good day. New Ghost song. Spent time at the pool.
Not that bad.
Yeah. Tomorrow's gonna be better because I don't have to deal with the other situation. And then I'm gonna go watch the Ghost movie.
Oh, yeah, you have a good day tomorrow. Mine sucks. I have to go to a funeral for a second cousin
Ugh.
that passed
You have
away.
to attend those?
Like, dude, I'm so confused. So, like, I know my dad's family, like, through and through. I know everything about them. My mom's side of the family has just been a complete mystery. So, when I was growing up, across the street from my grandma's house, we used to have, like, Uncle Scott and Aunt Kelly, right? So, they are technically my mom's second cousins. And they had like 2 kids by marriage. One of them has had like terrorist charges pressed against them. So
Oh shit!
yep, creating bombs in the basement.
What the?
Yeah,
Across the street?
yep, from my grandma, not from me. He was in the army for a long time, and so he had some like PTSD and some undiagnosed bipolar stuff going on.
Oh shit!
And then, yeah, so he got arrested for that. And then they moved after my grandma passed, and like we sold my grandma's house. So like I don't really have any ties to this area. But apparently I do through like second and third cousins. Apparently were very predominant in this area. I had no clue. Like I don't know anything about my mom's side of the family. It's just like this Irish, you know, like my last name turned into like Kelly. And then anyone apparently with the name of Kelly in the North Shore has some kind of relation to my family. So I have to go to a funeral tomorrow for the Auntie Kathy, who lived across the street from my grandmother, who used to just rip butts and hang out in the hot tub anytime I go over there. So I'm just like, okay. And then I found out that this girl that I went to middle school with, who used to have a huge crush on me, apparently, according to her mom, who I saw last week. She's like, oh, she'd always come home and she'd just be like, Mrs. Cat's pajamas, Mrs. Cat's pajamas on all of her notebooks and binders and stuff like that. And she didn't end up marrying you, obviously. And I was like, okay, yep, great. Well, she married this person. And my friend's mom was like, oh, yeah, that's your second cousin. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? So she's like, oh, but she never asked permission. I was like, well, why would she? Because I don't even know that person is related to me. So I expect tomorrow to be just an absolute shit show of literally people that I know that I didn't know were related to me. Hundreds of people. I'm really not looking forward to it.
That's my dad. My dad. I don't know nothing about my dad's side of the family. It's like the complete opposite. I know nothing about my dad.
One side of the family through and through, and then you just know nothing about the other.
I know
right?
all my aunts and uncles. I know all my cousins. I know my grandparents. I know all the their family. I know all that on my mom's side, but literally just know my dad's one brother. His other brother, himself, and then his sisters live right down the road from him, and I've met the one sister a couple times. I bump into her when I'm out around town, and she knows me, but I don't really know her. And then the other one I remember seeing once when I was a kid. So I know of them, but I don't know exactly who they are. And then I know he has a niece from the uncle that himself. So that's my cousin, who's a lesbian, but also has a child that's roughly around the same age as me. So that's the extent of what I know. Huh?
Completely relate.
Yeah. But he just
I found it. I literally found out last week when in conversations, because the girl that used to like me in 7th grade, her mom was at the pool, and my mom went to school with all of these people. So my mom grew up with all of these people. So just oh yeah, just write your name all over the thing, and then ended up marrying Sean last name, and I was just I don't even know who the F that is. Is that really that's not related to me? And my friend's mom was just oh yeah, that's your second cousin.
So your
didn't
mom's
know
friend
that?
knew, but your mom didn't know? So that's even weirder.
So I think it's a combination of my mom didn't want to say anything about her family considering their past, and then also didn't know, because my mom's side of the family has a history with the mob, so with Whitey Bulger and all that stuff. So there was an extent to which she didn't want to mention anything that could possibly incriminate herself, I would imagine. But also, I think she also couldn't keep track, because when you get up to this area, it's just everybody knows everyone, and you're all just just shy of uh, interfamiliar like relations, incest. So you have to be like very careful. And my mom left all of that and went out to Michigan, so she didn't have to deal with any of that. But everyone else stayed out. Dude, it's the most baffling thing I've ever encountered in my life. Like I thought I had like no relatives on the East Coast. Like that's what I was brought up to understand. And now I have like second and third cousins that are like living in like 2 towns away from me, and like a ton of them. And then it's like, girl I went to middle school with is just like married my second cousin. Like that just baffles me. Dude, it's wild.
I don't know. I got a pretty weird story about a girl that had a crush on me in middle school that I didn't know about.
Oh, I didn't know about that one either.
Yeah. So she.
Had I known the whole story, I would have been like, no.
This from what I remember of her, we were in the same grade, same school, had shared a few classes between elementary school and middle school. I knew her throughout my whole life, and she was always kind of mean to me. Like, not like she didn't like bully me or
Middle
anything,
school mean.
but she was always just like kind of a.
Shit.
I hate to speak ill of people in her current condition, but she was always kind of a bitch towards me, and you know it's all right because I couldn't kind of stand her either. But so years later, after I graduate, my nephew was going to a daycare here in town, ran by this woman named Bertha. That should tell you a little bit about.
I was gonna say that explains everything.
Yeah, so Bertha, Miss Bertha, as we refer to her as, knew me by name, and I had never met this woman in my life, and I was just like, "I'm sorry, do we know each other? You know my name, and I don't think I've ever met you." And she's like, "Oh, do you remember such and such?" And I was like, "Yeah, I went to school with her." And she went on about how she had this huge crush on me all through elementary school, in the middle school, even in the high school. And it was going on and on. And I was like, what? Okay. She was always kind of mean to me. I mean, like, are you sure you got the right guy? And like, she's like, no. She goes, I know you very familiar because she always used to point you out in her yearbook. Oh, how's she doing these days? I lost track of her from middle. Oh, she's dead. Oh, fuck, okay.
Oh,
what?
Okay. Like a sad twist of events there.
Yeah. She's like, oh, she died in a car accident, a few years ago. Yeah.
Oh.
I was like, yeah, okay, I'm sorry about your loss. I need to say I never went to that daycare ever again to pick up my nephew or anything. I was just like, yeah, I'm busy that day. And she went on and on for like 10 minutes about how this girl had this huge crush on me and yada yada yada. I was like, you sure we're talking about the same person?
Right.
I was like, oh, she passed away. And I was like, ooh. Well, thanks for that. I was kind of feeling good about myself, and
Yeah.
But my dad, his cousin, because he grew up down in Georgia, from when he was little till he was like mid to late teens, he was down in Georgia, and they came back up here in his later teen years. So he knows all of his cousins and everything down there, his uncles, which, by the way, he found out his uncle was married twice. He had 8 kids with the first wife and 9 kids with the second wife. And I'm just like,
Damn.
fuck, dude. Anyway, he was going on and on, and he was like, you know they do a family reunion every year. You should go down and meet your cousins. I'm like, I don't know these people. I didn't know you had that big of a family until now. Like, I'm always getting asked because I was like, because he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything about his family either, really, other than like his brothers, sisters, and the cousins he grew up with. So, well, I got asked when I was in high school by a gym teacher. She was like, do you have any family in Westchester, Pennsylvania? I was like, hell if I know. I don't know anything about my dad's side of the family. And she's like, you are a spitting image of a guy I grew up with. And he had the same last name. My dad's like, I would have no clue. None at all. Most of his family he knows of is his mother's side of the family down in Georgia. He doesn't know much about his father's side. I was like, well, I guess we're in the same boat.
Well, I'm just more like my mom knows that this tree exists, but like never explained it. And like I get it, it's complicated because there's like second, third, fourth cousins involved, but like, you know, they're all living in the same like 3 towns. Versus like I can understand my dad because my dad grew up in Detroit and like their family moved like everywhere, like Houston, Illinois, Montana, California, like they all spread out. So I can understand like, you know, the need to get together. And I'm more in connect with them than I am with like the people in the 3 towns over from me. What the hell? Like, I would like to know.
Yeah, I know exactly. Like, I was young then, but we lived.
I'm 35 and I'm just figuring this shit out now.
No, I'm saying like I was. I think I was like 12. I don't remember exactly how old I was, but we had passed this house. God, anytime we went south, because it's only like 10 minutes south from where we live. It's the next town south of us, and it's right on the highway on 13. So literally past it. Anytime we went south, we passed it.
Go past it.
And one day we went to the Apple Scrapple Festival, which is like Bridgeville's Heritage Day. And on the way home, my mother is like, are they at, like we passed the ambulance and paramedics, like there was a whole scene. And she's like, are they at your dad's house? And I'm sitting there like, hold up. Dad's dad is actually still alive. Like, he's lived there my whole life and no one ever stopped to be like, hey, that's where your grandfather lives.
Yeah. Oh, it's wild. It's wild what people think about, like, how they consider their own families, you know?
It's just
like how important it is. Like, I left, like, hanging out with my friend in Marblehead, and I was, like, informed of all of that stuff. And I was like, well, my mom never told me that stuff. So I went back to my mom, and I was just like, WTF? Like, do you have any, like, in nicer words, I was like, you're gonna die soon. Like, don't you feel like you have an obligation to tell me about, like, your legacy, like, who you're related to, stuff, so I can, like, at least do some research on my own? Because otherwise, like, you're gonna leave me assuming I have no relatives on this side of the family. She's like, well, you know, they're not the nicest of people. It's like, I don't care.
I think that's where my dad's starting to realize, like,
yeah, it's like, I don't care. I don't care. Like, second, third, fourth cousins, like, I don't care. Like, You don't understand. Like my dad's out here, but my dad grew up in Detroit, so his family is not around here. His family is spread out across the country. Like I'm stuck living here. I would like to have some relatives to know in case something happens, or just to like get to know at the very least. Like I find it like very offensive that you just like keep it from me.
I think my dad is starting to realize that he's not got much longer left in this world, and he's curious about to know more about. Before he didn't have any desire to know more about his family, but now that he is, because one thing, the cousin that he talks to all the time down there in Georgia, she's really into genealogy, and that's how like they first got reconnected, because she came up here doing genealogy research on their family, and she wanted to, because she remembered when they were kids they were really close, and she wanted to stop by, and my dad's sisters, who live literally on the same road. If you take the road that the road he lives on is a bit weird. Like it has the road starts on a curve. So if you just head straight down that road, and when you get to the stop sign, just keep going straight. Literally 5 minutes on the right, that's where his sisters live. And they're like, "Oh, we don't know where he lives." So he was pretty pissed about that one. But like he wasn't informed of the last family reunion that took place before his uncles passed away, and he's upset about that. So now he's eager to go, and now he can't go because he's limited on his oxygen tanks. So I told him if he ever gets himself to where he needs to be to get the portable, whatever the thing's called, that generates oxygen, I told him that I would rent a vehicle and we would go down there for the family reunion. He's like, "You should go either way." And I'm like, "I don't know these people, Dad. Like, I don't know any of them. Literally none of them. What am I just supposed to be like, hey, by the way, I'm your cousin from Delaware?" But the funniest part is my oldest brother from my dad's previous marriage, he took one of the DNA tests. And so my brother's a junior, but don't ask me why. My dad just like 10 years ago stopped using senior, and right around the time he did, my brother stopped using junior. So they go by the same name on like all social media and everything. And I'm just like, you guys make it so confusing, because not only are there you two, father and son, going by the same name, but there's also in the same town that my dad lives in, there's a father and son who also have the same exact name, because neither of them go by junior or senior. So it's so goddamn confusing. But my brother took the DNA test and matched with my dad's cousin, and because she saw my dad's name, she strikes up a full-blown conversation with him. And my brother kept telling her, "Is like, yeah." My brother kept telling, he's like, "Man, I don't know you. I've never met you before in my life. I don't know." He's like, "This is the first conversation we've ever had." And she was so confused. So my dad called her and was like, "Just so you know, you're talking to my son. That's not me." I was like, why do you two not go, like, my whole life, you two have gone by junior and senior. Why, all of a sudden, do you two decide at the same exact moment that you're just not going to go by junior and senior anymore? Oh, I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. You know, you would make it a whole lot easier for a lot of people if you would just start using it again. I don't know them
A
too.
bunch of rednecks.
Yeah, 100%. That's 100% what most of my family is.
Like they
Like,
don't think about it.
true
They're just like,
blue
oh, yeah,
rednecks.
come on, man, this is Bob. This is Bob Jr.
That's 100%
Yeah, he
what
also
it
goes
is.
by
My
Bob.
dad's name is Bob, and well, Robert, and they go by
Yeah.
they both go by Robert. See, it was easier growing up because my brother always
I
went by
summarized that in like 2 seconds.
Yeah. My brother always went by
My name's
Robbie,
Bob.
so it was
I don't
easier.
go by that.
You
This is
had,
my son Bob.
yeah, Bobby and
I also
Robbie.
goes by Bob. Yep.
But
Like his name is Bob. He goes by Robbie.
now they both want to go by Robert. And it's just like, y'all are making it so fucking difficult for everybody. But it's even weirder. There's a father and son that live in the same town as my dad, who also has the same exact name, Robert, my last name, that also don't go by junior or senior, but they're father and son. And I'm just like,
F yourselves.
yeah, 100%.
Yep. F yourselves.
It's even confused my dad. My dad was like, why do I have 4 Facebook profiles? Like, no, Dad. You got one. I said, those are other people. One's your son. The other 2 are. I don't know if we're related or what. I said, but they live in the same exact town, and have our last name, and your name. And the funny thing is, if you stand me up next to his, like the 3 of us, the 3 of his sons, none of us look like we could be related. So my oldest brother from his first marriage he's, I think, like, he's got to be at least like 6'5". No, he's the shorter of the two. So he's more like 6'2". Blonde hair,
Yeah.
blue eyes.
Yeah, you get into multiple marriages. It just
Well, no. So he's like lighter, kind of like he's got like the same color skin, lighter skin tone, but he's blonde hair, blue eyes. His brother from the same marriage is 6'5". He's the tallest of the bunch. Dark hair, dark eyes, dark complexion. Then there is me, who is 5'11", dark hair, dark eyes, light complexion. So if you stand the 3 of us next up to each other,
don't
none
look
of
anything like-
yeah, you couldn't tell we were related. I'm also the only one that looks like everybody thinks I look like my mother, that knows my mother, and then they meet my dad and they're like, yeah, no, you look like your dad. Because Miss Joanne, that I used to work with, she always called me Little Sharon, knowing I hated it. She's like, you look just like your mom. You look just like your mom. And then my dad came in one day, because that's when he was driving a truck, and bought a bunch of DVDs to watch while he was on the road. And she's ringing him up. She's like, oh my God. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. You your daddy's kid. I was like, the only difference between me and him, I make this look good.
Well, I have my best friend's mom, who grew up with my mom, would always tell me, she's just like, you look so much like your mother. You look so much like your mom. And then she met my wife, and she was just like, oh, you look so much like Paula, my mom. And I was like, excuse me? And she's just like, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. It's like, yeah,
Your
no.
wife looked like your mother?
Well, yeah, well, that, but she always told me from like a kid that I always looked like my mom. So then she's, comes out and just like blatantly says, she's just like, "Oh yeah, like your wife looks like your mom." It's just like, no, no.
Ma,
So
you two
sorry.
are related, are you?
Well,
I was-
at this state in my life, like I don't know. So
That's what a guy I went
like
to
maybe.
a guy I went to school with on Facebook. Him and his wife announced their second child, and I've seen it before then, but it never was so like blatantly obvious. So I pulled up the picture of them uh, in their announcement on Facebook, and I pulled my wife over. I was like, if you didn't know these two, what would you say their relationship was? And she looked at him. She's like, I don't know. They look like they could be twins, like they're brother and sister, right? I said husband and wife. She's like, it's like I know, right? They have like the same smile, the same facial structure. They look like they could be twins, 100%. If you put long hair on him, that's what she looks like. And it's like, that must be someone who really loves themselves. That they
Yeah.
found someone that looks just like them, and is like, you know what? Let's get married.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's my curiosity with this whole like person that liked me in 7th grade married my second cousin. Like, I don't think she knew that
If
there
she
was
did know,
relation.
that's
Like,
creepy as fuck.
So, from what I've found out, like, she did know.
That's creepy.
Yeah. Because I think her mom's joke, like, I think at like the wedding shower or something like that, was like, "Did you ask PJs for permission?" I know. I'm like, I'm so glad I wasn't there for that, because that's awkward as hell. Because I don't think she knew. But like them being the older generation, like they know everybody in the town, so like they knew the relationships, like who is related to who, going back like 6 generations. But the people our age don't. So yeah. And the worst part about that is with the funeral that I have to go to tomorrow. She's gonna be there because we're technically related. Get that a kick in the nads.
Maybe she designed it all along.
Yeah, I'm gonna marry his 3rd cousin and then have like 2 kids, be married for 9 years, and then I'm just gonna bail on all of that.
He's gonna see me at a funeral and fall in love with me again.
Yep. Just like I'm just waiting for Aunt Kathy to die, and I think that's gonna be my end. So again, mind you, I found all of this out last week, and I'm just like, so I'm always like, do you want me to go? Do you want me to go? Should I go? After I filter in on all of this stuff, I was like, no. Like, my brother's wife's not going. Like, you've never met anyone on this side of the family, like, living, ever. So there's no point in you going. She's like, well, yeah, but do I need to be there? It's like, nope. No, you don't.
I don't know.
It's like, also, we're related. Technically.
through marriage. Doesn't count.
True.
If you had kids and the kid you end up having kids, it would be no chance of having a third eye. You're good. But see, my smart ass would have been like,
No
well,
problem.
they said you look like my mom, so might be your family too, so you might want to go.
I mean, like, to my defense, like, the amount of people that are probably going to be like, oh, you look so much like PJ's mom. Like, I've heard that multiple times. I'm just like, nope. Nope.
You've heard that multiple times that
I
your
have.
wife looks like your mother?
Yeah.
Your wife might look like your mother.
It's all from, like, childhood friends that are either, like, on the sauce or, like, recently out of drug rehab. So I don't really take that seriously.
But then again, they knew your mom when she was your wife's
Like,
age. Think about it.
Could it be like a younger version? Maybe. And like to that extent, like fine. I don't care. 'Cause I don't know. Like they look at people in a different way. Like at the same time, there is the what's the opposite of the Oedipus complex?
I can say it without a shadow of a doubt. My wife looks nothing like my mother.
Yeah.
That's another reason why I want to get do a more well-known DNA testing.
Oh no.
It's because the one I did. So if you look at my own, I mean, literally my cousin is so dark that his screen name back in the day was not a Mexican. Okay, that's how dark it is. You look at my aunt, my uncles, they are darker skin. And when I took my test, it all came back Scottish, English, with a little bit of Irish. There's no Native American whatsoever in there, and my dad's sister claimed up and down that at least I think their grandmother was full-blooded Cherokee. But yeah, there's no Native American in me. There's no any Latino or anything in me, which for me, I can't wrap my head around how dark my uncles, my aunt, and my cousins are. If none of them, there's none of this. How's my family lying? No, I'm talking. The aunt that said that her grandmother was like full-blood Cherokee. No, she's full of shit. But I don't understand how there's no Native American, no Latino, nothing to explain the dark skin on my mother's side of the family. That's what I'm confused about.
There's been some infidelity at some point.
But there's so much of it.
Of infidelity?
No, my aunt, my mother is the only one that is lighter skin tone. My grandmother is lighter skin tone. My grandfather is darker skin tone. All her brothers are darker skin tone, and my aunt, albeit she does tan a lot, is still, even so, they're darker skin tone. All of them dark black hair. All of them have dark black hair, dark eyes.
Yeah. So it's a dominant trait unless there's a different dominant trait present. Meaning that that's going to cover whoever until they meet up with somebody who has a more dominant trait.
What doesn't make sense? Where's the dark skin tone from? If my mother's side and my father's side, I get where I come from, but if there's nothing that explains the darker skin tone, where's it come from?
I thought you said it came from her grandfather, right?
Yeah, but if he had some sort of Native American or Native American or I don't know,
no, but you're saying he's white,
Spanish or something. Yeah, no, he's I have nothing in me that other than
it's non-white,
Scottish. Yeah, I'm white. As my brother put it, my brother is married to an African American woman, and when he got his results back, he was he looked at her and said, "Yeah, you married a white dude." But mine's the same way. I am all I think the most percentage was Scottish, then it was South England, and then some German and some Irish.
Yeah.
So I'm white.
I don't think they really have the ability to pin it down. I think they're just collecting data. If that makes sense. They're gonna spit out a random thing that makes sense based on your profile, but they have no way of attributing it to a specific culture or town or country. They don't. They really don't. I think that this is being used as a data gathering source, and they spit out something just to make you happy. Hate to break it to you, because mine says the exact same thing that yours does, but we know that we have German roots in our family, and it did not mention German whatsoever. It was just oh, it's all
yeah, because isn't your last name
English.
German?
Yep. And it was just oh yeah, it's all English, Irish, and very Eastern European name. Like, that's where your history is from. It's like, well, if you took into consideration the last name, you might come to a different conclusion. So that's why I think it's all a scam. And that's what I'm saying. You're gonna get screwed when you do the 23andMe because it's not. I honestly don't think it's what it's intended for. I think it's a side hustle to get DNA for the government.
Man, you really are a paranoid fucker, aren't you?
I'm not. No,
You
but
kind of are.
how would our our results came out almost essentially the same based on what you're telling me.
Wait, I thought you didn't take one.
But, like, no, my uncle did.
Oh.
And that's why it's just like, screw you, you bastard. Thanks for implicating me. But he was just like, oh yeah, it's all, it's like mostly English. Because it's just like, oh, you're a white person? You came from like one of 5 countries in Europe. So like, you can't really... assume that as being...
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you are still watching, I want to take a moment to say I appreciate you. You are awesome. But I am going to call it a night here. I probably won't be streaming tomorrow night.
Options.
If I do, it will be later than
Just
usual.
tell you what you want to hear.
So keep that in mind.
And just get your DNA.
If you guys
sample on
do,
file.
though, did enjoy the stream, do me a huge favor, leave a like down below. Does
Because
something
they
else
get
so
paid
very
better
much.
for
I do
doing that
appreciate
than
so
they do
very much.
for
He's still going.
An actual DNA examination, which they
If
don't
you
have the
guys
research
want to see
to
future
back
live
up.
streams, be sure to click that subscribe button if you guys want to
Because
be notified when I
You get
do
the
a live
report, but
or
there's no
upload a video.
research
Click that
behind it.
notification bell. As always, guys, thank you so very, very much for watching. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.